Remember, special housing areas were created under the Housing Accords and Special Housing Areas Act, introduced to Parliament in May 2013, described by the Minister, Nick Smith, at the time as a core part of the government's work to improve housing affordability. The pin-up development for how they might work is Hobsonville Point. For those of you who don't know Auckland, you head to the end of the Northwestern Motorway, turn right and out into land that was recently really lifestyle and even semi-rural. It's a mixed price community. 20% of the homes being built there are affordable by current definitions. I went out there today and asked Precinct Director Katja Lights what affordable is.
So for us that means at or below 550,000. So half of the 20%, so 10% of everything we build is at 450,000, then another 5% at 500,000 and another 5% at 550.
And so the other 80% are selling in a range of what?
It's a really big range. So from the affordable at 450, we've got homes right up to 1.6 million and above.
And this is a Housing New Zealand development, right?
It's a Hobsonville Land Company development, so we're a Crown-owned entity, so we're owned by Housing New Zealand, but we are a separate company.
So Housing New Zealand, through Hobsonville Land Company, is now building homes for $1.6 million.
Yes, or our builder partners are building homes up to that price.
And is this proving to be a profitable business for Housing New Zealand? How much money is coming out of Hobsonville Point and heading up the pipes to Housing New Zealand? And do you know what the profit is? What's the most recent figure?
No, I don't have those figures on me.
If we look at the developers, they seem on the face of it to be doing quite nicely out of it. I've got AV Jennings' latest half-year report to the year ended December 31st, and they say in it that that there's significant demand generating excellent revenue and margins. In other words, the Crown is making money, Housing New Zealand. The developers are making money. Are margins being driven as tightly as they could be here?
That is an interesting question. We do want our partners to have profitable businesses here. A really important aspect of Hobsonville Point from the beginning was to set an exemplar. So we do want to demonstrate what the industry can do, and in order for other people to be able to do similar developments, it does need to be profitable for those partners that are involved in it.
It's proving fairly profitable for some of the developers. Some of them are doing really nicely out of it, aren't they?
It's hard to say. I don't get the feeling that people are making super margins. We all know that the property market is very hot at the moment. But I suppose what we have set out to prove, and I think what we are proving, is that you can build affordable homes in the Auckland market and that you're still able to make a profit doing so.
So 20% of the homes at Hobsonville Point are affordable. How many of those homes are occupied? So how many access homes, affordable homes, somewhere in the range of 450 to 550, are now being lived in?
Probably somewhere between 100 and 150. We don't keep those numbers separate, but I do know that there's over 700 homes completed. So at 20% of those, it's somewhere between 100 and 150.
Now, I'm not giving you a hard time here because this development is a phenomenal success. And I've been wandering around this morning talking to people who are stoked about living here, who bought properties 2 or 3 years ago and are thrilled about, the gains they've made, people who are desperate to get in. So Hobsonville Point is a success story. But in terms of providing affordable homes, 100 to 150 so far in real terms that people are actually living in isn't a major solution to the crisis of affordability in Auckland, is it?
No, of course not. Hobsonville Point won't be the solution to Auckland's housing issues. But in the context of, ultimately 600 to 700 homes, we do think we make a substantial difference. And I think even more so perhaps, I think that the fact that we are showing that it is possible and that it is profitable to do this really, I suppose, gives us hope that other people will copy it.
How do you get in? How do you get one of the affordable homes in the range of 450 to 550? How do you get on the list?
So we do have a situation where there's more people wanting these houses than there are houses, and so what we do is that we work with all our builder partners to run ballots. So the process is that you come and visit Hobsonville Point, you see the builder partners, you talk to them about what affordable houses they have available, and if you're then interested, then you put your name into a ballot. Another factor here at Hobsonville Point is that you have to meet a number of criteria. So most of the affordable homes go to first home buyers. You need to commit to live in them for 2 years, and that is really to deal with, I suppose, the risks of speculations and people just buying them as an investment. You can't buy them in a trust. You have to be a New Zealand resident or citizen, and so forth. So we're fairly tight on the criteria, and once you meet those criteria, you then go into a ballot. And if you are fortunate enough to be pulled out, then you're offered a home.
So does the Hobsonville Land Company, owned by Housing New Zealand, run that ballot, or did the developers, the individual developers, run that ballot?
So the individual builders run the ballots. We are very clear that it is the builder partners and the developers that are building and selling the homes, so we want them to have the relationship with the customer. So they run the ballots, but generally the scenario is that one of us from our office comes along and supervises the ballot to make sure everything is in order. And we keep an eye on the process, and we've set the process out for them.
So how many builder partners do you have?
We've got, I don't know that note off the top of my head. I think we've got 7 or 8 at the moment.
If you're 28 years old, you have household income of less than $120,000 a year, you've got some KiwiSaver, you're a New Zealand resident, and you're eligible for access, rather than dealing with the Hobsonville Land Company to get out here and get one of these really sought after properties, you've got to deal with 7 or 8 different developers.
Yes, you do, but we do have the information centre where we're at now, which is operated by us, so you can come here and you can find out which builders have got homes coming up, so that you can go and see those builders, and all the builders have show homes just on the street behind us, so it's fairly easy, and there's a website and it takes you through to the different builders, but you do need to engage with a builder who ultimately will be selling you a home, so that you can find out what they require of you and what the plans are like and so on.